What's up, everybody? Mike here for day 15 out of my 100 days making comics. Yes, today has been a very interesting day. Today is actually the first day of my new schedule. Wow. It's intense. I'm tired. It's like the end of the week for me, kind of. It's a transitional day. So today is the day that I don't have caffeine after lunch because I have to get to bed in a couple hours actually, very soon. I have to leave soon too, so I'm going to try and make this quick. On that note, I'm going to play a little slideshow of some life drawings that I did today. Gestures, I did some gesture studies today. I got a whole long video for it. I really wish I would have got more done, but I'm not going to beat myself up. I did what I did at the speed that I could do it. That's not what I wanted to show you. There's what I wanted to show you. Go back to this. This will be the next thing that we talk about. So, to sum it up, I'll get into this in more depth at another time, but I really don't have much time. I had a very productive day. Is this completely all usable stuff for the comic? No, not at all. This is a drop in the bucket. This is me dipping a toe in the water. Other than Sissy and briefly attempting to start designing her weapon when my hand crapped out on me over a year ago now. I haven't begun design work on this comic yet whatsoever. I've been writing. I've been, I couldn't draw for a year. So all I've been doing is writing. Um, so I am just now starting to try to get out the mess that is just in my head. I've built up this vision, to put it in a generic kind of term, and now it's time to start dabbling and playing and exercising. That's the key, exercising. So it's like, all right, I want to run this marathon. What am I doing? These are my stretches right now. I'm stretching my muscles, finding my sea legs, and I'm getting a feel for what things look like or could look like. Now, what I did here, this is notan. This is essentially, I forget if it's Japanese or Chinese. I think it's Japanese. It could be wrong. It's probably Chinese. Either way, it's of the Eastern world. It's essentially the study of extreme light and dark. It's black and white drawing. It's black and white photography. It's I think there's a term chiaroscuro, I believe. I may be completely misusing that. I'm very tired, so excuse me if I am totally abusing that term. But black and white. And we as comic artists, we love black and white. This is something that I have recently discovered in like the last few years. It's something that I really wanted to start dabbling in right before my hand shit out. Um, and I used this for goblins to a small degree. But here I really wanted to explore. This was like a warm up. So the life drawing stuff, the gestures, that's just a part of my daily routine. That's like eating breakfast in the morning. I've just committed to doing that. So I'm hoping that that will improve over time. I got to stop taking these large chunks of time between doing anything. The last time I drew anything, I think was August 18th. It might have even been as far back as August 13th. Which was a long time ago. This is the last thing that I drew up to this point. So I gotta stop that. I can't let more than a week pass. I can't let more than a day pass. So I'm committing to bare minimum doing a chunk of anatomy study a day. That way, even if I get lost in writing for Sisyphean Complex, I'm at least drawing something. I'm committing to that. But I'll add on to that I'm also committing to doing two things a day while I have this time, and that is writing and doing this visual development stuff for Sisyphean Complex. Now, I don't always know where this stuff is going, but it's gonna help. It's gonna add up. So I did a huge, long video about this Notan stuff, and you can hear all of my thoughts about that in that long, long video. But to sum it up here, is this going to translate directly into the comic? No, probably not. Is this a way to get my feet wet and warm up my art muscles for my project? Yeah, totally. I mean, look at some of these. They could be panels, or at least the inspiration for a panel, and that's kind of the point. To work abstract and let your mind discover things. So I gave the example in my video, and I'll just show it here, of maybe how this could apply in the future, of doing some color studies on top of these. Boom! I don't know how many of you have actually listened to my long, like, it's like an hour, maybe even more, talking about the story and the script for issue 0, but Sissy dies in the end. She falls off of a building, smack onto the concrete, and sploosh, she's done for before we've even started reading the comic. And so I didn't plan any of this to look the way that it does, but something about that top corner panel said splat and a dead Sissy to me. So this was just a quick color study. Don't judge it on its artistic merit. It's very sloppy, but it's an example of how something like this can spark another idea that then becomes useful. It becomes tangible and something that I can actually use. And even if it isn't this specific panel, I got an idea in my head now of a panel that uses this same kind of concept, right? Same thing to the one on the left. Maybe Sissy is drowning in a pool. I could tell you there is some liquid in this story. There are liquids. Liquids have a way of entering into many different stories, and this story as well it features liquid. I'm being an idiot. Anyways, moving back on to the right here, this crazy ass spider. That's really cool. That is definitely making it in the comic. Now, the design is something that I don't feel I really executed well today. I meant to design the spider today. And so here, let me describe my frustration and kind of my mistake today. I had a lot of anxiety today. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because of doing the live stream or just life. I typically have a lot of anxiety on this day. I hate this day. my fingers are crossed that my wife is going to get out of work on time and that we can actually eat on time and get to bed on time. We never do, and we get maybe 4 hours of sleep. Some days I get three. I'm really hoping that doesn't happen today. So maybe that's a factor. I feel like personally today was a bit of a failure in a way, but then again, I feel like almost every day of my life as an artist is a failure, and I'm constantly trying to improve. So I guess nothing new. I'm going to save this really quick because I don't know what I've done, and I probably messed something up. So there we go. So moving on. So I did a bunch of that. Then I decided to switch things up. So now, originally, what I wanted to do today was environment paintings, just like studies, but kind of trying to get to know the world that Sissy lives in. I have a very succinct idea in mind of what that is, but I haven't visualized it yet I haven't materialized it yet on paper. I have not put pen to paper to make it exist and actually see it with my eyeballs. I've only seen it with my third eye, my inner eye, the one right there. Um, and I went into a whole huge deep thing about this in the longer video today. I will recap all of this, I promise, at some point. It's just I am in a rush today. So inadvertently, because of what I did with the no-tan studies, I started getting all spidery. Something about the no-tan studies, I was thinking spiders, maybe because I was so concerned about Spider-Man. But did you hear? He's back in the MCU, and they got fucking Venom? Oh my god, talk about a tragedy turned fucking blessing. What? I know there's crazier shit going on in the world. I get that. I understand that. In my geekdom, though, I have to have hope for the future, and if there is a future and we can all still breathe, I'm very excited that I can breathe some more MCU Spider-Man and Venom. Oh my god, it's cool. So moving on, back to this. So I got all spidery, and so I think somehow the spiders infected the idea of me doing environment studies. Now, the spider isn't a real spider. It's just that there's this machine in the comic that is very spider-like, and it plays a pretty big role in a portion of the story, not the whole story, but at least a part of it. And so, in my mind, I thought, okay, well, I mean, it feels like this thing is best designed as a character, even though it's not a character. It felt like maybe it's best designed. Oh, because it's not a character, today I felt, well, maybe I can design it as a scene. But the problem with that is I haven't developed enough things yet. Like I said in the beginning of this, I have Sissy. That's it. That's all I've got. So I jumped ahead of myself. I flew too close to the sun, and I burned myself, in my opinion. Is this usable? Yeah, there's some cool stuff in here, and I will probably use some of this. It's helped me get some of the visions out of my head, but you'll note that, like, for example, this long panel here is very underdeveloped. And it looks a lot like it looks in my brain, undeveloped. So I didn't progress here. I took a snapshot of what's in my mind's eye right now, but I didn't bring it any further. Is that progress? Yeah, in a way, but not the kind of progress that I want to see. But it's okay. I'm not going to beat myself up over it, because after a few different iterations, I started thinking more like a designer who is actually trying to accomplish what he's setting out to do, and I got micro on it. I started focusing on pieces instead of the whole. And I still put it into a scene. It's just I chose to focus on one aspect, which I think out of all three of them, this is the one that I most value out of all of this, because not only have I highlighted something, I think it's potentially a usable panel. I mean, I might even just use it as a rough in the future, tighten it up a little bit, but I mean, I think it almost works as is, to be honest. But no, I digress. I definitely have some more work to do on it. It's just a thumbnail. But yeah, this one, it was cool, but this was the first one I did, and I really didn't know where I was going here. This was a bit ambitious, trying to do all this, because I don't know, the interior kind of structure that I'm trying to draw. I haven't really familiarized myself with a whole lot of industrial studies for this project yet. I haven't familiarized myself with the type of architectural aesthetic that I'm going for, which again I detailed thoroughly in the other video. It's going to be a combination of Art Deco and Art Nouveau, similar to something that I was trying with Legend of Space Cat. That's my timer though, and I really have to go. So I apologize for the short video. I'm going to leave it at that. That's pretty much everything that I did today visually. Writing wise, oh my god. I can't tell you any of it because it's for the last chapter of the book and it's a major spoiler, but I think I figured it out today. Like, I think I officially figured it out today. The twist within the twist. Writing a noir comic, it's very easy to kind of let things go, or I guess miss opportunities sometimes because you're trying to keep things secret and sneaky. But luckily, I've been doing this linear thing where I'm telling the mystery in order instead of just in its little pieces. And telling it in order has really helped me to fill in the blanks and actually see logically where this should go and what kind of twists and turns it can take that may actually be a little bit more interesting than what it was before. So I explored a lot of that this morning. Unfortunately, I don't have time to tell you much more. So I'm going to say bye. Bye!